Can we ask questions?
That would be great if someone wants to ask me a question.
Yeah, look, when I see on the website, the first thing I see is earn up to 500% APY. Usually I just move on. It's a red flag. It's an exaggeration. And what you talk about in terms of 100% rate of return, surely that's not a long-term thing. Maybe there's some short-term opportunities. So I'd like to understand your business model when these rates of return become like within the ballpark of being reasonable.
Okay, so thank you for the question. I think your comment is actually very fair on that with regards to 500%. And to be honest, we probably would never offer such an option. What we're actually doing is we're providing a layer of aggregation, I guess is a good phrase, where we will access the market's existing DeFi return solutions. And we will give customers, and this is where the word choice comes in, we'll give customers a choice. We will either do everything for you, and we will even take the risk that is involved with that. And at that end, we may well be converting your Bitcoin into a number of relatively attractive tokens that might be able to earn 15% or something along those lines. And we will do all the transactions behind the scenes. We are also able to reduce the fees on that by aggregating a lot of transactions at the same time. We will then have two other options. So we basically give the customer a choice between we do everything to the other extreme, which is we'll give you access to all those DeFi protocols yourself and you take all the risk. And somewhere in the middle is we will have a risk valuation where we'll say, this is a relatively low risk. We will do most of it, but you're taking the risk and you can have a higher return. And we will give customers those choice. But I would agree with you, Cam, that it's very unlikely we would be offering a 500%. But what's important is we're not relying on just one option out there. There's always new options coming out, and we will be spreading the risk amongst a wide variety of options to give the customer choice.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions maybe from other judges? Cam, are you satisfied with the answer? Do you have a follow-up answer?
No, I completely understand the model, and the basic idea of making this easy is a good idea. One thing I don't understand is that that choice will absorb all the risk. We've seen history of these DeFi protocols being exploited. And basically, is it the case that you fully cover? So if you drop 100 million into a protocol and it's drained, that you're going to fully cover that investment?
I think it's important to understand that we would never drop 100 million into one particular protocol. So just, I haven't explained my background. My background is actually one of insurance. I used to run insurance companies. I've spent 25 years running insurance companies. And one of the elements that we've applied to our modeling is effectively the spreading of risk and making certain that we don't put anything above a particular percentage in certain assets depending on the risk profile. So let's say, for sake of argument, there's 100 different protocols or services out there, and some of them are much more attractive. They may have a few billion in them, and some others may only have 2 or 3 million in. Of course, the risk profile is different. But if we are able to, let's say, spread that risk, so let's say 6 or 7% goes into the one which has got 10 billion in, and only just 0.6% goes into the one that's got, a few million in, we're able to spread that risk. And if our returns are, for sake of argument, 20%, and we say to the customer, we're taking all the risk, but you're only going to get 16%, that's a pretty good return for the customer because he didn't have that 16% option beforehand. So yes, we will take the risk in that environment, but we are spreading that risk, and we don't feel that with our modeling, we shouldn't be taking anything beyond what is reasonable, particularly if we keep that return difference and use that effectively as an internal insurance pool.
Thank you.
All right, I think we got last question from Michelle, and then we'll move to the next pitch.
Yes, Sergey. Quick question.
Yes.
Who do you see as your competition, and